This webinar that I have created, it is for both founders who have a product ready to go or someone who is still in their building journey and pre-product. But the way you look at this whole program is you come in prepared with full understanding of your ICP. So once you have done your groundwork for really understanding your mission, the problem that you're solving, the future vision of your technical product, and who's the ICP, then this LOI program and process is going to just work out perfectly. But if you are still figuring that part out, a lot of technical founders, we have seen that they have gone through a lot of back and forth, iteration, pivoting, just because they're not fully clear on the messaging and for the ICP. We do this day in, day out at Zero to Millions Club. We want to make sure that any strategy that you take in terms of your outreach, booking validation, interviews, for product market fit, even for like the growth, you have clear understanding of the messaging and the ICP. So you can book time with us one-on-one. But one of the biggest problem that I've seen like with technical founders is that they build in silence, stealth mode. They are running out of resources. They're overthinking. They're thinking about their building journey, but they have zero understanding of the pain points, urgency, budget, or even decision-making process from their audience. And that can actually lag a lot of founders 6 to 12 to even longer in just like going into circles, trying to figure out what's the best path until they actually go out of resources. So what is an LOI? LOI is your mature pipeline full of possible champions, right? And these are the champions who, if you nurture them correctly, they're going to raise their hand and possibly also help you bootstrap. And we've seen so many great examples of that. So a letter of intent is a simple, non-binding agreement. It's almost like taking a verbal, but in a written sense. And when you go to market, you might think and you ask yourself, like I've seen a lot of technical founders saying that, but I don't have a product. I don't have anything to deliver. So how can I even like put together a letter of intent? But believe me, most technical startups, most SMB, mid-market, and even partnerships, they understand the meaning behind LOIs. And if you have done the work of really understanding the mission and the ICP, then this outreach is going to just be a bullseye. And it basically says we intend to buy if we get the results that we want. So you had those conversations and they agree that we intend to buy or pilot your solution once you deliver in X timeline. Again, those are the conversations that you're going to run when you get on the agreement of LOI. And what it gives you, it actually gives you real traction, real understanding of your champion, and then from there, real conversations with your investors, right? So LOIs are great game changer these days. Like when you go to early investors, angels, they want validation, they want confidence. They don't know you. They don't know where you're coming from. They see on the paper that you have the momentum, you have the right, checklist. But what they want to see is like if your idea is validated. It also gets you to accelerator super fast, and it gives you product clarity and a full understanding of your 12-month journey of product strategy. So when you're going into your LOI journey, just remember that you're not looking to sell, but you're looking to find your champions and you're going to validate who exactly is your ICP. So you're providing the pain that exists in the market, how your AI startup is solving it in much faster way. What does your offer looks like? And this could be pre-product as well. But if in those conversations, your interviews, you're catching up a lot of like pain points that exist, the current infrastructure, the current cost, the current leak and gaps, then it's very easy for you to map out urgency, who's going to have budget, what sort of problems exist, when they need it by, and the entire workflow from there. So I get a lot of technical founder asking like, okay, I run interviews, but I don't have a product to deliver. How do I give them the product? You know exactly how to map that out once you have these conversations that are based on questions, but not on your product feature. Because in reality, there is no product to offer, right? So the best format in this situation, pre-product, is to lead with questions, lead with qualified questions based on the potential customer ICP's pain, and then kind of like progress towards the budget, timelines, decision makers. But at any point, there is no need to over glorify what you're building, any feature spill, because there isn't much there. What you want to gather is how to actually build that one lean feature that hits the ground running. So you book calls, book your interviews, confirm pain, really understand a lean future workflow from those interviews, and then get agreements on alignment, send your LOI, and from there, your real pipeline begins. And this is the pipeline. If you start your interviews with your investors, this is the pipeline that you want to show, somebody who has filled out all those documents and said that, yes, we will not only try it out, but we will put our money down and we want to use it as soon as possible. Now, feel free to take a screenshot on this, but a simple LOI process is very simple. It basically states exactly like a summary of what you have discussed, clearly articulate the pain that you're solving with that one feature that you are building and delivering. a sort of like estimated timeline implementation. Typically in the market takes 45 days, but you can take 60 days as well. You can take 90 days as well, like really based on like what your building journey and resources look like, but it's pretty normal. And then from there, you create a non-binding clause. You have a full understanding, you put down a full direction of like what solution that you're offering, a sort of like a beta pricing, tentative pricing. What does the trial period look like versus when, you know, the pricing comes in, and what do they get, right? And then obviously like the signature that gives you confidence that this is something that you have agreed on. Now you want to probably send out hundreds of these LOIs to get your 5 champions. And your outreach basically in this process is a short message, repeatable process of like clear pain point. Your offer should be about pain point, not the features. And, you know, again, like ask for a little bit of time to do a product interview. It does not involve long pitch decks, but it really involves qualified questions and questions from buy-in, sort of like language, like budgeting, timeline, involvement, what sort of like support they're looking for. So just conversations with the right people. And again, like after you have confirmed everything, your closing is very simple. Don't over question this. Don't ask yourself like question in terms of whether my pricing or not. Just ask very openly those questions, what sort of price you would pay. And you can do a pricing estimate yourself also, like in terms of looking into competitive analysis of all those features and offering. But once your champion has agreed that this solves their problem, and they will be open to a simple non-binding LOI to support you as a founder in this journey, that's where you have a very mature deal. So what you want to avoid in this process is over-promising, essentially overperforming in any conversation, over-explaining, explaining, and overly talking about the, you know, what is the key features and technical perks that they're getting. Just completely avoid that. Vague sort of timeline. If you're not sure about the timeline, you're losing confidence. Even if it is your, contact that you know for a very long time, if it is your peer also on the other side, be very sure like what timeline you're going to present in terms of like your building journey. Instead of going towards pitching, go towards questions. It will help you close faster, and it will also help the other person understand your full method and process as well. So you always, as a founder, you want to have control in the conversation and sell faster. You want to keep the ball in your court. And the way you do that is not by pitching or talking about like what this product can do in the future or what could be the vision, but what you want to do is like ask the right questions. And that's how you always keep the next steps within your court. And there's no need to, write a single code if you don't have like complete full understanding of what the buyer is looking for. So, you can hold on to that process, and, there is no need to have that imposter, like I don't have a full product. It is very, very common in the industry now, and most B2Bs understand this process very well. And I've seen so many technical founders going into the perfect product. And yes, there is a method, and there is a PLG process where they say that if you have a perfect product, it will sell itself, of course. But then that environment is completely different than this landscape and this process. Both are good, actually, in my mind. So your initial letter of intent won't come from large enterprise, but from different agile groups, right? And these are believers, these are innovators. They cannot be the people who are, at a lower rank. Most founders want to support other founders. So if you book time with leaders, you have better chance of somebody like, betting on you. So, you want to look out in terms of your ICP, those who are quick to evaluate, decide, commit, those who are on the decision-making chair, those who are, and then the other category is like those who are eager to explore new solutions and actively participate in shaping up your product. So this could be also another bucket for your champions. And then we have like forgiving partners, more understanding of early stage, empathetic, supportive, active players, and they're actively supporting a specific niche. So there are different levels of ICP buckets that you can create within your ICP landscape, but these are the 3 main categories that typically move super fast if you have like clarified your ICP correctly. And again, like I'm going to reiterate on this, like your go-to-market narrative is a very powerful tool to engage with potential partners. So don't go into technicals, any sort of technical conversation until you understand the pain, the cost of inaction, where exactly the leaks and gaps and how much are, they're suffering because of that, your insights as an advisor, solution approach, and then from there you want to move to commitment. But at any point when it comes to like product demo, that is not the most important thing, but the most important thing in LOI journey is to build relationship. And how we build relationship, like right now, I'm not building relationship. I'm just talking and everybody's like, whatever. But the way you build relationship is when you ask questions about the other person, because it's not about you. The other person did not join the call because they want to hear how amazing your product is and how far you have come with this and how many amazing people like and how what an impact they have come because they want to talk about their problems. And if you're not uncovering that, you are not building a relationship. And so start with a simple system like CRM or even Notion. A small Excel file is good also. Identify your target ICP, their roles, their pain, and this is your essentially repeatable process. It's very, very simple. It's a numbers game once you have done a great job in understanding your ICP. So essentially, what you want is 6 to 8, 10 LOIs in 6 to 8 weeks. And this is your best framework. Again, it's a numbers game. And once you have understood fully what your ICP exactly looks like, this should be very easy to achieve with the right sort of email, social media strategy. And you can achieve tangible, non-binding commitment from potential customer in a rapid framework. And the process is very simple. Ask the right questions, keep uncovering, get to the decision maker, and get the document signed. There is absolutely no money that they have to put down. Once you have validated a problem through this process, you have a better understanding of market pain. So from here, your product journey should be very straightforward. Once you have valid, and this is your validation process, right? So it's a clear roadmap which gain precise insights into critical product features and your priorities directly from your feature users and minimizing the guesswork. And this is basically your first pipeline, right? Like this is how you understand what does the product market fit look like for the very one feature and exactly how much you're selling it for. And you can have so many amazing conversation with early stage angels. And from there, you can actually understand your full 12 months revenue as well. And if you feel like this is very overwhelming or the part of the process you want more clarity into, we do weekly founder one-on-one sessions, and day in, day out, we actually like solve this go-to-market support, whether it's your outreach, whether it's your product marketing. But this is the area where we support, and we want to make sure that, at a very early stage, you have full understanding of